Israel and Iran are raining missiles at each other for the third consecutive day. Let's look at the latest development at this hour. Visuals show Iranian missiles striking the Israeli port city of Haifa. Iran is targeting Haifa city for the second consecutive day. Well, 4 people are reportedly injured and several buildings were damaged in Israel's Haifa due to the Iranian missile attack. Israel launched a wave of airstrikes targeting dozens of surface-to-surface missile sites in western Iran. Renewed Israeli attacks hit Tehran and other Iranian cities. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has confirmed that the Iranian intelligence chief and his deputy were killed in Israeli missile strikes. Netanyahu says that Mohammad Kazemi, the head of IRGC intelligence, and his deputy Hassan Mohakik were targeted in an Israeli Air Force strike. Iran has accused Israel of deliberately targeting a foreign ministry building in Tehran. Iran has also claimed that several civilians were injured in the attack. Iran's Majlis, or unicameral parliament, is considering withdrawal from the treaty on the non-proliferation of nuclear weapons in the wake of Israeli strikes on its nuclear facilities. Deputy Commander of that region, Rahula Izzadkar, said, and I quote, "The minimum necessary measure is withdrawal from the NPT. We are currently considering this issue in Parliament, and even withdraw from the IAEA." Mr. Adrian Calamel is a fellow at Arabian Peninsula Institute, terrorism and Middle Eastern scholar, and also an author of the forthcoming book on Hezbollah. He's now joining us live from New York. Mr. Calamel, thank you for joining us and making time for us. I want us to talk about something that will be spoken about even after the conflict. Iran doesn't have a nuclear weapon. Israel does. Iran is a signatory to nuclear non-proliferation treaty, or the NPT. Israel is not. Iran has allowed the IAEA inspectors into their country. Israel doesn't. So why is there nuclear double standards, and why is that not being addressed?
Well, thank you for having me, Eric. And I think the double standard exists really is because one country, the Islamic Republic, which is rushing to militarize and is broken, they're just found in breach of the IAEA, the UN nuclear watchdog. They have been racing towards the bomb. It's quite clear that over the last year to 18 months, that has been it. And they threaten every day to wipe Israel off the face of the map. It's death to Israel, death to America. So when you have a country that's building an advanced ballistic missile system and with increasing range, okay, and then able to eventually fit a nuclear warhead on it, and that just becomes a problem for Israel. It becomes a problem for Europe, it becomes a problem for India, it becomes a problem for the United States.
But Iran has continued to argue that it is not building any nuclear bomb. In fact, one of their officials has just spoken a few hours ago saying and insisting that we are not even on the verge of creating any nuclear bomb.
This is desperation. This is absolute desperation. There's assessments coming from multiple organizations. Israeli intelligence, we'll leave them out of it. We'll just use American intelligence. You can look at other assessments from individuals like David Albright, and they were putting it at a 3 to 4 month away from weaponization and militarization. And this is the next step towards building a nuclear bomb. You know, the Islamic Republicans say they were never wanted to build a nuclear weapon all they want, but right now this just smacks of desperation. A week ago they were saying we can enrich we want. During the Biden administration, they were enriching up to 60% and then up to 90%. Why would they need to enrich up to those levels if they never wanted to build a bomb? And finally, they would be the first country in the world that is able to enrich, reprocess, and didn't possess a nuclear bomb. So there's a real trust factor with the Islamic Republic, and every international organization has had to deal with that. And I think that's why you see a lot of leaders around the world, the IAEA coming out against them, a lot of the Middle Eastern leaders, they've been pretty much silent, and they're kind of falling in behind and saying, you know what, this is one of these moments where I'm glad we're not sitting a month away, 2 months away, 3 months away and saying, oh boy, only if we had let the Israelis take care of this nuclear program. That's how critical it is.
Well, let's move away from that topic now. There are some critics who argue Israel has learned no lessons from Iraq, that preemptive aggression brings nothing but chaos and instability. Aside from that, Mr. Caramel, do you think the United States will engage or watch from the sidelines?
Oh, that's a good question, Eric. Kinetically, I think we'll engage on two situations along two lines. One, the first being if the Islamic Republic decides to attack any of our bases or interests, as Trump has warned them not to. And number two, I would say it could be like the final blow to taking out the military, the nuclear program is Fordo. If you look at Fordo, it is deeply buried. I would think that that is one of the places, you know, we're still looking at battle damage assessment. This is still fog of war, but every estimate was that was going to be the one that was the most difficult to take out, and it would take probably a U.S. bunker buster to do so. So then you may see engagement from the United States. You know, these meetings that they're going to have in Oman, that may be exactly what's on the table. It's like, we're going to drop a bunker buster on Fordo unless you sign a deal, possibly. We'll see.
We'll see indeed. So there have been claims made by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He told Fox News that Iran had planned to assassinate President Trump and him. Then two senior US officials came out and said that Trump vetoed Israel's plan to execute Iran's supreme leader. Your reaction to those two developments?
Well, the one development on the assassination plot, Donald Trump's name went on a list after Qasem Soleimani was killed. So did John Bolton's, so did Brian Hook, so did Mike Pompeo, so did anybody involved in that operation. And once you get on that list, you don't get off it. So were there direct attempts made on Donald Trump? I don't know. There have been operatives in the country that there were concerns about in this assassination plot. Now, as far as the vetoing of any type of decapitation strike on Khamenei, that could be just messaging. That could be more messaging to Khamenei saying, listen, you better not mess around. Trump saying, restraining Netanyahu, sparing his life, and then it could be that. Or it could be the fact that it very simply could be that, but Khamenei, it could be if you look at the Israeli approach, it's been, and you look at what happened in Lebanon, it's kind of been a bottom-up approach, and that's what we're kind of seeing here with the Islamic Republic. And Khamenei, he's very old, and he's never been of great health, and the real heir apparent is Moshtaba, his son. And I think he would be probably the larger target, but I think ultimately Netanyahu and, well, Trump would like to see the Iranian people take back the country, because we will see IRGC defections. We will see defections from their standing military, the Artash. We will see those because they're tired of suppressing their own population, those lower ranking individuals. They're done. They're tired of it.
They're tired of it, indeed. I've been talking to Mr. Adrian Calamel. We'll have to leave it there. Thank you for talking to us today.
Thank you, Eric. Always a pleasure.